one of the CDC masks that they gave us the information for. You have a pattern, and I can post it for you to share. It's important to get fabric and lay it to where you have the opposites on the inside so that you're cutting it to where to line up. And it takes 4 layers to make one mask. So you want to have 2 layers of one material and 2 of another. If you don't have 2 separate materials, you can make all of it out of one. You're just going to make the inside of the mask the back side of the fabric, if that makes sense, and I'll show you. Because it's important to know the front and the back so that you're not cross-contaminating yourself by flipping the mask over. So the pattern that's online, make sure you increase it by your 1/4 of an inch to have your area to be able to sew so that it's still big enough, and I just cut them. Some people trace it out and then cut around it, whatever works. So I cut it out. Okay, so that gives me 2 Mickey Mouse pieces, as you can see, and then 2 the yellow and black. If I was just doing Mickey Mouse, I'd have 4, so that I'd have 2 that could be the back side and 2 the front side. Okay, let's sew a mask. I've been doing them for a while, so I've kind of figured out the easiest way. Whatever fabric you're gonna have for the front side, you wanna flip it now to where you have the opposite side showing. So I first sew the rounded sides. On both. Then this one I don't really have to flip. Oh, but I cut 4. You want to make sure you have 2. And I don't have to flip it because it's the same either way. So I'm going to cut its round side. And I always back stitch at the top and the bottom. You know how to sew the sewing machine. It just kind of locks it so the thread won't pull out or fray. Okay. And then, because we've been doing so many of these, I've learned a quick little trick at this point is, after trimming all these ends, I then put them good side to good side, meaning that I'm gonna have both of the outside ridges on the outside right now, or the inside ridges on the outside right now. I put the points together and I sew the curved side. When I get to about halfway down the opposite side, oh wait, no, we won't do that yet. We'll go on. I don't want to confuse anybody. Okay, so I've sewn the top curve. Okay, so I have the top ridge all sewn, outside to outside's out. At this point is when I'm gonna sew the end that's gonna stay open. So I just flip it over about 1/4 of an inch. It doesn't have to be perfect. I put one end in, again, first stitch, and then back stitch some, and then I just go up the side. It just makes it a little quicker than the way we were doing it by doing each piece individual. And right now it's all about speed. So this is your end that you're gonna leave open for people to be able to insert whatever fabric that you're gonna use for filtering, whether it's dryer sheets or a vacuum cleaner bag or whatever. So there we have that. Now, I'm gonna make sure I have a piece of 7-inch elastic. And obviously we're all getting a little crazy about elastic, so you start getting creative on what you can use. So I'm gonna start up here at this corner of the side that we've already tacked back to be the finished edge. And sew down this edge that's not sewn together. Back stitching at the beginning again and coming all the way down. Now, when I get about right here, I go ahead and put my elastic in. So I'm gonna insert that elastic up in there so that it's inside the mask. And then I just have the 2 ends kind of sticking out a little bit so that I know that I'm catching them like that. So I'm gonna sew them down. When I get to the corner, I back stitch again, turn, come up this end. Depending on what you're using for elastic or ties, sometimes they're a little thicker and you just have to go a lot slower. Okay, so we cut loose. I trim those so there's nothing bulky sticking in the mask for anyone. I'm gonna trim up this end strings. At this point is when you turn the mask right side out. You can see there's that side that we sewed, and you can also see that I missed it some, but we can fix that. So there's this end. I'm gonna start on the side with this portion of the earpiece up here. And I just kind of start it and back stitch over it a couple of times to make sure the elastic's in there. And then I pull, make sure you open this nose part up and pull it all the way up so that you know you have all the fabric. And then I do a final stitch around just to kind of make sure it holds well. I'm going to fix this end by just tucking it in. Before I run back down. Obviously, ideally you want elastic. We're kind of makeshifting with rubber bands and headbands and whatever we need to do to make sure that, you know, our care providers have what they need. Run back down this bottom end. Stick the other end of the earpiece in. And there. So, there is a completed mask. However, we're gonna go one step further. My little headband is spraying off. And put a nose piece in. Now, nose pieces. We've gotten creative. I have ordered some of the actual metal nose pieces, but we've gotten a little creative. We're using pipe cleaners. So I think I have one, but here's one. So what I've done with the pipe cleaners, because they have a little more cushion just because of the little fur, is I take one 12-inch, I cut it in half. That is how I'm ruining all of my good scissors. I curl the end in so there's no sharp wires hitting, because if you've seen, much like my daughter that's wearing masks all the time right now, they're getting sores from things. So we want to make sure that we try to be as careful as we can. So at this point, you can cut a piece of ribbon or the bias tape, whatever, a little bit longer than your pipe cleaner. So if you pull it out, you see that I'm giving about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch on each end. And I'm gonna cut this end. What I've also learned, because the pipe cleaner moves when you're trying to sew, is I find the middle pop it in the middle, take the ribbon, basically find the middle, right? So you know it's there. And you're gonna put it over the pipe cleaner so that you have ribbon or bias tape or even fabric, whatever you need to use, on either side of the pipe cleaner. So to make sure I'm getting it in the middle, I start with my stitch in the middle. You can start wherever you want to. It just kind of helps me keep a guideline of making sure I have everything centered up. And my sewing machine doesn't like the thickness. So I have this. There's our little overcut we did. I'm gonna pull it underneath my pipe cleaner, hold it down, and I'm just gonna stitch down this side. Across the end. Hope I don't hit metal, because I have a couple of times. And that would be me hitting metal. Oh, it went through. Good job. Back up this side. Then you're going to pull it down on this end. And the ribbon over the end, like we did on the other end. Hold it down on your side. It kind of helps to adjust the needle to get it straightened out some, but it really, at this point, again, doesn't matter. We just need everybody safe. I come back down this side. Across the end. And up to the middle. So, now, everybody isn't requiring metal. If you have glasses, metal helps because you don't fog up your glasses. Most of the hospitals that are requiring metal from us are for ICU units or surgery. That you have a nose piece with metal so that they can form it around their nose. And you have an opening for them to be able to add as many layers of whatever they want to add to where they can still breathe. That's the important part, is you don't want to make it so thick that they're moving the mask to breathe, because it kind of defeats the purpose. So, thank you very much.